The night air over Savannah, Georgia, was heavy with humidity, carrying the faint smell of rain and the distant sound of cicadas. A pair of rookie police officers, barely out of training, crouched behind their patrol car in the dimly lit parking lot of a small corner diner. The flashing red and blue lights danced across the wet asphalt, reflecting in the puddles like fractured neon. One of the rookies, Ethan Mallory, a pale-faced 21-year-old with sharp features and eyes wide with adrenaline, had his gun raised. His hands shook visibly. "Don't move. Hands where I can see them." The figure they were confronting, tall, broad, and calm, turned slowly. A black man in his mid-40s, wearing a soaked gray hoodie, faded jeans, and worn boots. His eyes were steady, piercing, and terrifyingly composed. "Son," he said, his voice calm and unshakable, "you really don't want to do this." The words cut through the tension like a blade. Ethan's finger twitched on the trigger. For a moment, time itself seemed to freeze. Even the distant buzz of the neon diner sign faded into silence. Ethan's partner, Caleb Rivers, a few years older and slightly more cautious, whispered under his breath, "Maybe we should just check him calmly?" But Ethan's pride had taken over. He wanted to prove himself, to show he could control a potentially dangerous situation. The report had said, "Suspicious black man loitering near the diner." Nothing concrete. But in Ethan's mind, he was in control, and that illusion of control was about to shatter. Inside the diner, a few late-night patrons had noticed the standoff. One man, sipping lukewarm coffee, peeked from behind the counter. "What's going on out there?" he muttered. Others leaned closer to the window, curiosity piqued, a little thrill dancing in their veins. The black man, Nathaniel Nathan Cole, did not flinch. He didn't raise his hands immediately, didn't flinch at the flashing lights, didn't panic. He simply watched the rookies, calm as a man who had stared death in the face countless times. There was a dignity to him, quiet and impenetrable, something that made Caleb uneasy. "Step away from the truck," Ethan barked, his voice cracking. Nathan complied slowly, deliberately, each movement measured, controlled, like a dance he had performed countless times in the past, just not with weapons pointed at him. "Name," Ethan demanded. "Nathan Cole," the man replied, his voice carrying a hint of amusement. "Where are you from?" "Just passing through." Ethan's temper flared. "Hands on the hood. Now." Nathan slowly lifted his hands, palms open, fingers spread. Rain dripped from his sleeves. The rookies could see subtle scars along his forearms, faint tattoos partially hidden under the damp fabric. Caleb leaned in slightly, squinting. One of the tattoos caught his eye, a trident insignia, partially faded but unmistakable. "He's military," Caleb whispered. Ethan shot him a look. "Shut up. Don't talk." Nathan tilted his head slightly, just enough for his voice to carry calm authority. "You ever point a gun at someone, make sure you understand who you're dealing with. Otherwise, someone's gonna get hurt." The air grew thicker. Nathan's stance remained steady, like a mountain unmoved by storms. His eyes scanned the area, quick, precise, noting everything, from the rookies' trembling hands to the reflections in the puddles beneath their feet. "Breathe," he said quietly, "and think before you act. This is the one chance you have to make the right decision." Rainwater ran down his jacket, soaking the fabric. Yet he didn't move unnecessarily. Each motion was calculated, controlled, like a man trained to survive situations far more dangerous than this. Caleb swallowed hard, glancing at Ethan. "Do you see the tattoo?" he asked again, nervously. Ethan didn't respond. He couldn't. His knuckles were white, his whole body trembling. For the first time, he realized this wasn't just another suspect. Nathan's voice, calm yet commanding, sliced through the tension. "I've walked through hell, kids, and yet here I am. Don't make this worse than it already is." Just as Nathan spoke, a black SUV silently rolled into the lot. Its headlights cut through the darkness, and 3 figures stepped out, suits, badges, and professional precision. The tallest of the group, a woman with sharp features and an intelligence badge glinting under the neon lights, strode up to Nathan. "Commander Cole, your extraction team is here. Your transport is ready." Ethan froze. "Commander?" His mouth went dry. Nathan sighed, rainwater dripping from his hoodie. He finally turned fully toward the rookies. Every scar, every tattoo, every line in his face told a story of experience, danger, and discipline. "You point guns at people," Nathan said slowly. "Make sure you know the man behind it. Otherwise, don't be surprised at the consequences." The agent pulled Ethan aside. "Do you realize you almost fired on one of the most decorated Navy SEALs alive?" Ethan's knees nearly buckled. Caleb could only shake his head. The tension wasn't over. 2 masked men suddenly emerged from the shadows, guns drawn. "What now?" Ethan whispered, panic rising. Nathan reacted instantly, every movement precise, almost superhuman. Within seconds, the attackers were disarmed and incapacitated, their weapons knocked aside, bodies controlled without lethal force. The rookies could barely comprehend it. Their suspicious man had just neutralized trained attackers like it was a routine exercise. "Stay back," Nathan said quietly, his calm command cutting through their fear. The intelligence officer glanced at him, nodding. "We've got it from here, Commander." The rookies watched in stunned silence as Nathan and the agents disappeared into the SUV, leaving behind the rain, the flickering neon, and the realization that they had almost killed a hero. Nathan Cole wasn't just a SEAL. He had led multiple high-risk operations overseas, surviving impossible missions and bringing civilians to safety where others had failed. He had returned home quietly, taking a low-profile life mentoring at-risk youth in Savannah. The gas station standoff was not random. Nathan had been escorting a young boy home, the child of a single mother working late shifts at the diner. The suspicious activity was nothing more than a man protecting someone weaker, someone who had no one else to rely on. The rookies, Ethan and Caleb, were left staring at empty asphalt, rain dripping from their uniforms, wondering how they could have misjudged a man so completely. Word spread quickly through the precinct. Ethan requested reassignment and de-escalation training. Caleb became an advocate for training with veterans, understanding that not everyone fits the stereotype of threat. Nathan returned to his quiet life, mentoring local teens, teaching them discipline, resilience, and courage. The calmest man in the room, Caleb later reflected, is often the one who's seen more than anyone else. The rookie officers never forgot the night they almost fired on a decorated hero, and the lesson that true danger isn't always obvious and heroism isn't always visible. Sometimes appearances deceive. Sometimes fear makes us forget judgment. And sometimes the quietest, most composed person in the room is the one who could survive everything you cannot imagine. "Never judge what you do not understand," Nathan had said, "and never underestimate the power of experience, discipline, and calm." Ethan and Caleb carried that lesson forever, and the streets of Savannah would never look the same to them again. Because sometimes the people you fear most are the ones who've already faced every danger, survived it, and come back stronger.